Hello children, welcome back to your English class. Today first we are going to take a new poem, Circus. Okay. Hey there, Hoopla. The circus is in town. Have you seen the elephant? Have you seen the clown? Have you seen the dapple horse gallop round the ring? Have you seen the acrobats on the dizzy swing? Have you seen the tumbling man tumble up and down? Hoopla, hoopla, the circus is in town. Here there, hoopla, here is the circus troupe. Here is the educated dog jumping through the hoop. See the lady blonding with the parasol and fan, the lad upon the ladder and the India rubber man. See the joyful juggler and the boy who loops the loop. Hey, 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 here is the circus troupe. The circus is exciting, right? Is bubbling with excitement. The speaker can hardly contain his joy having the circus. It seems that the speaker has already seen the circus. Now he is asking the readers, have you seen the circus? Here the speaker is very much excited about the scenes, about the things that he has seen in the circus, and he is asking about others, have you seen the circus too? What are the things he has seen in the circus? It is already written there: elephant, clown, dappled horse. Dappled horse means a horse with spots on its body. Okay. Acrobats. Acrobats means what? People who can do feats such as balancing on a rope, walking on fire, and so on. Have you seen this? They are called acrobats. Okay. There will be elephant, clown, dapple horse, acrobats. And have you seen the tumbling man? Tumble up and down. Tumbling means turning in the air. Here, this is the tumbling man. You can see all of them in this picture. Okay, and the speaker is telling us others to see the circus, to go there and see the circus. How many of you have seen the circus? Okay, next page. Here is the educated dog jumping through the hoop. See the lady blondin with the parasol and fan, the lad upon the ladder and the India rubber man. See the joyful juggler and the boy who loops the loop. Hey, 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 here is the circus troupe. And what else was there? There was a trained dog which was jumping through the hoop. And a lady blondin. Lady blondin means name of a woman performer at the circus. With a parasol and a fan. Parasol means a type of stylish umbrella. The lad upon the ladder and the India rubber man, a person who can twist his body in many ways. That is what we call India rubber man. Okay. See the joyful juggler, one who takes different objects and moves them quickly from one hand to the other. Everyone you can see in the picture in page number 41. Okay. And these are the things that the speaker had seen in the circus, and he is asking the readers to see there, to go and see the circus. He's asking, what are you waiting for? Okay, that's what the poem about. It is a poem by C. Michael James Dennis. Okay, next is page number 43. Let us take a new story. King Solomon the Wise. King Solomon was a very wise king. Many admired him for his wisdom. Once the queen of Sheba wanted to test him. She brought two garlands which looked alike, but one was made of real flowers while the other was made of artificial flowers. She held the real garland in her right hand and the artificial one in her left hand. She told King Solomon that one of them was made of real flowers while the other one was artificial. Okay, how many of you have read stories of King Solomon? Okay, he was a very wise king, and many people has treated him with respect for his wisdom. Once a queen of once the queen of Sheba wanted to test about his wisdom, how wise he is. And what she bought? She brought two garlands. Garlands means you can see it in her hand. You can see it in the picture. Pumala. You might have seen that. So she brought two garlands. Both are looking same. Both of them look the same. But one is the original, but one garland is made up of real flowers and one is made up of artificial flowers. Okay, now what did she do? She held the real garland in her right hand and the artificial garland in her left hand, and she asked King Solomon to find the real garland. She told King Solomon that one of them is made up of real flowers and other one is made up of artificial flowers. So what he want to find the garland which is made up of real flowers. He have to find it, but he won't. Uh, he must not touch the garlands to find which one is real or which one is artificial. He have to find the garland with real flowers without touching them. The wise king contemplated for some time. He then asked his servants to open the windows of the room. There was a beautiful garden outside the window with many flowers. Bees and butterflies were buzzing around the flowers. Okay, now he thought for a while. Now, when the queen of Sheba asked him to find the real, the garland made of real flowers without touching them, first he thought for some time, and what he did, he asked his servants to open the window. And what was there? There was a beautiful garden outside the window with a lot of flowers. Okay, then there were bees and butterflies in the garden. Buzzing means continuous humming sound. They were buzzing in the around the flowers. After some time, some bees from the palace garden flew into the room and buzzed around the garland of real flowers. And what happened after some time? The the bees and butterflies that were buzzing around the flowers in the garden came into the palace. And what they did, they buzzed around the garland of real flowers. The bees and butterflies only go near the real flowers, right? They won't go near the artificial flowers. So now the king pointed to the garland of real flowers in the queen's right hand. Now what he did, now he understood which one is real. All of the bees and butterflies will go near the real flowers only, right? So now he understood which one is the real flower. So he pointed to the garland which the queen held in her right hand. Solomon thus proved his wisdom and won everyone's admiration. Now what happened? King Solomon once again proved his wisdom and everyone appreciated him. The queen presented the king with the precious gifts she had brought with her. And what after proving his wisdom, Queen of Sheba presented him beautiful and precious gifts, means valuable gifts which she brought from her place. Okay, that's all about the story. It's about the wisdom of King Solomon, how he found which one is the real garland and which one is the artificial garland. Now, take the exercise section, page number 45. Now, choose the correct answer and fill in the blanks. Okay, here are some incomplete sentences. You have to fill in the blanks or fill in the correct answers of each sentences. You should have first you have to read the chapter very well and you have to fill in the blanks. Okay, now put a tick mark if the sentence is correct or a cross mark if it is wrong. You have to put a tick mark if the sentence is correct or a cross mark if it is wrong. Next is grammar section. Let us look at some identical words that are used as different parts of speech. You have already learned that a noun is the name of a person, place, or thing. A verb tells us what someone does. Some words are used both as a noun and a verb. Sometimes these words have no change in spelling. For example, catch can be used both as a noun and a verb. Okay, there are different parts of a speech, right? We have already learned what is a noun and what is a verb. What is a noun? It is a name of person, place, or thing. And what is a verb? It tells us what someone does, or it is the action words or doing words. Okay, now here we are going to talk about some words that can be used as both noun and verb. Sometimes the word acts as a noun and sometimes the word acts as a verb. Here it tells an example, catch. Let us see how it comes as a noun and a verb. It was a good catch by the cricketer. Here, catch is a noun, right? Here it refers as a thing, right? In the first sentence, it refers as a thing. He wanted to catch the train to Delhi. Here it refers as an action. So in the first sentence, it acts as a noun. In the second sentence, it acts as a verb. So the same word catch is acting as is used as noun and a verb. And at other times, there is a slight difference in spelling. The rule is quite simple. Use C for a noun, S for a verb. For example, while advice is a noun and advice is a verb. Read the sentence to understand if the word is being used as a noun or verb. Okay, there are some other rules where the same word is used as noun and a verb. Okay, and there will be a slight difference in spelling. How can we find whether it is a noun or verb? If it is noun, the letter will be C, and if it is verb, the letter will be S. Here there is an example, advice, ADVICE. Here this letter is C, so it is a noun, and advice, ADVISE. Here it is a, which letter is used, S, so it is a verb. We can find it very easily like that. Okay, find out whether the underlined words are nouns or verbs by making N or V within the brackets. Okay, here are some sentences given below, and there is the same word. Underlined words are, you have to find whether the underlined words given in each sentences are nouns or verbs. You can use the trick. S is used for verb and C is used for noun. Okay, you have to do it by yourself. Now, some words in English are very similar. For example, both hear and listen refer to the sense of hearing. However, these words are used in different ways. Example, you hear the phone ring, but you listen to your friend. In the above example, Hear refers to the fact that a person hears a sound. He or she may or may not actually be paying attention. Listen, to the other hand, means that the person is paying attention. Here, okay, now see, there are some words in English are which are very similar. Hear and listen, they are having what they refer to the sense of hearing, right? Both refers to the sense of hearing, but they are different in ways. Different, sorry, they are used in different ways. No, here, see an example. You hear a phone ring, but you listen to your friend. Here, when the phone rings, he does not pay any attention. He is not paying attention. It is here, but here listening. He is paying attention to his friend, right? So it is listening. Like that, choose the correct answer and fill in the blanks. Like that, you have to choose the correct answer. There are two words given in the bracket, and you have to choose the correct answer and fill in the blanks. Word of the silent letter. The silent letter appears in a spelling but is not pronounced. Here are some examples. Here, this is just to check the pronunciation of yours. Okay, how many of you have heard about silent letters? Here, let us see some words in which some letters are silent in each word. Okay, here in this four words, the letter B is silent when we pronounce. Climb, climb. Here B is silent, right? Doubt, doubt. Here also B is silent. Thump, thump. Lamp. Here all B is silent. Next is scene, scent, scissors, muscle. Here there is letter C, but it is not pronounced while we are reading. It remains silent, right? Handkerchief, sandwich, Wednesday, handsome. Here all the letter D is silent. Sign, resign, foreign, assign. Here G is silent. A, honor, honest, rhino. Here H is silent. And knee, new, knife, night. Here the letter K is silent. This is just to check the pronunciation of yours, okay? This poem about the child who doesn't want the stars to disappear in the daylight. Recite with correct rhythm and pronunciation. Stars. Oh, why? Because the dazzling sun restored our earth to joy. Have you departed, everyone, and left a desert sky? O stars and dreams and gentle night, O night and stars, return and hide me from the hostile light that does not warm but burn. Okay, this is not for learning, it's just to read about it. Okay. When asked what is forgiveness, a little girl gave this sweet reply. It's the sweet scent of a flower gives after being crushed. Okay, when a girl was asked what is the meaning of forgiveness, what she replied, it is the sweet scent a flower gives after being crushed. A cute little boy ran up to his mother and told her, "Mom, please run." Mother surprised. Why should I run, sweetie? Boy, Mom, please run fast and faster. Mother, but why, sweetie? You want to know why? Because there are thousands of ants chasing you. And why should the ants chase me? Because I told them you're the sweetest person in the world. Okay, this is just a lovely story, right? Okay, next is, do you know what notes and messages are? Notes and messages convey information in a very brief manner. They give just the gist. Okay, Example: Dad, Mom and I have stepped out for a movie. We will be returning home at 7 in the evening. Mom has made bindi masala, paneer dosha, and cauliflower salad. There is papaya for dessert. Please help yourself. Rohan. Okay, this is just a message. This just a note or a message or to convey the information in a very brief manner. It must be very short and it should convey the information in a very brief manner. It must be short. Okay, write a similar short note on any one of these topics in your notebook. You are attending a music concert and will be returning an hour later than scheduled. You have to inform your parents at home. Now, there are three options. You have to write a note on any of those topics, okay? First one is you're attending a music concert and you will be an hour later, you will be returning in home an hour later than it is already scheduled. So, you have to inform your parents about it. So, you have to write a note about that to your parents, okay? It should be brief and you have to convey the correct information in the note. Oh, the second topic is you are having dinner with a friend and will return home at 10 p.m. You have to inform your parents at home. Okay, now we are going out to have dinner with your friend. So you will be returning only at home 10 p.m. So you want to inform your parents about this. So what you have to do is write a note or message about this to your parents. Okay, you have stepped out to pick up your sister from her dance or sports class. You will be returning home after an hour. Okay, this is the third topic. Okay, you have to write a note or message on any of these three topics. Okay, it should be very brief and you have to convey the correct information in that message. Okay, take page number 7. The Pied page number 50, chapter number 7. The Pied Piper of Hamelin. Scene 1. The marketplace. Lot of noise around. People loudly bargaining, asking prices, buying, selling. Loud squeak of mice heard above the noise. Narrator. Welcome to the beautiful town of Hamelin in Germany, situated to the north of the Weser River. Many years ago, this pretty town was troubled by rats. Hundreds of rats lived in the houses, workplaces, and shops of the townsfolk. Okay, let us read the story. Now, the scene is a marketplace. It is a market, and in market there will be a lot of noise, right? People bargaining and asking for money. They will be buying things, selling things. Okay, then in between there is the noise of mice, means rats. Okay, here the narrator, the speaker who tells the story, is telling us, welcome to the beautiful town of Hamelin in Germany. Okay, where is the place? It is Hamelin in Germany. Where it is situated? It is situated to the north of the Weser River. It is near to the located north of the Weser River. Okay, he is telling us a story. Many years ago, long before long years, this pretty town was troubled by rats. There were a lot of rats in that town. Hundreds of rats lived in the houses, workplaces, and shops of the townsfolk. Okay, a lot of rats were there, means hundreds of rats were lived in the houses, workplaces, and shops of the townsfolk. Customers 1 and 2 are standing near shop 1 on the left corner of the stage. Customer 1 jumps up suddenly and says angrily, "Oh my god, these rats! I'm always jumping around so that I don't step on one. What a pest!" Customer 2, "Oh yes, there are hundreds of them. They are so powerful that our cats are afraid of them." Customers 3 and 4 near shop 2 on the right corner of the stage. Here, this is a drama which is played on the stage. Okay, here there will be two customers near a one shop which is on the left side. There will be two customers on the shop 2 which is on the right side. Okay, then now one of the customers jumps suddenly and he was angry, and he says that he's jumping around because of these rats, as don't want to step on one. And the next customer says, these rats are so powerful. Why? Even the cats, even their cats are afraid of them. Customer 3, could you give me a kilogram of potatoes, please? Watch out, there is a small rat in your pocket. Now, the next customer tells to ask the shopkeeper for 1 kilogram of potatoes. And now he is saying the shopkeeper that there is a small rat in his pocket. Shopkeeper jumps up in fright. Rats, rats everywhere. Is there no one to help us out? And spill them all over the place? These cursed cats. I made some delicious soup for my children yesterday. The rats licked the last bit of the soup clean in 2 minutes. My children went hungry last night. And the shopkeeper is telling there is a lot of cats everywhere. And he is asking whether nobody there to help them to wash off all these cats from their place. And one other customer says that he made a delicious, a very tasty soup last day for his children. And what happened? The rats has took all of it, and the children were hungry last night. Two men are walking on the street. Man 1, I had given my hat off for repair, and lo, what do I find when I go to the shop? A whole family of rats happily live inside my hat. Is there no one to help us out? Man 2, in a loud voice, speak loudly, my friend, I cannot hear you. The squeak of the rats is all I am able to hear. Man 1 angrily, there are 10 rats for every one person in Hamlin. If something is not done soon to save us from these rats, we will have to throw our mayor out of his office. The mayor does nothing to solve our problem. Now, there were two men walking on the street, and one of them told he has given his rat for repairing, and when he went to the shop, what he found? A whole family of the rat family was living inside his hat, and he is asking, is there anyone to help them? And the next man is telling he can't hear what the first man says, because there is the squeak of rats everywhere. Because of the squeak of the rats, he was not able to hear anything what the other man says. And the first man says there are 10 rats for one person. If the something is not done to save them from the rats, they will throw their mayor out of the office. This complains that the mayor does not do anything to solve this problem. Scene 2. The mayor's office. The mayor is sitting between two people on his either side. He and his four advisors look very worried. Next in his mayor's office, the mayor is sitting between two people on his both of his sides, and there were four advisors. They all look worried. Advisor 1, Lord, people are losing faith in us. Advisor 2, yes, my lord, they believe we cannot solve the rat menace. Advisor 3, we have tried all tricks to free Hamlin from rats, but alas, it is for no use. Advisor 4, if this continues, people may leave Hamlin and move to another town. Now, the mayor is discussing with his four advisors, and they are telling that if they cannot find a solution for the rat menace means the problem or the trouble. If they cannot find a solution for this, the people will move from Hamlin, another town. Mayo, my learned advisors. I understand the problem. I have tried every solution, but these rats only grow more in number. I feel utterly helpless. Now Mayor is telling he can understand the problem, but he has tried a lot of solutions, but he cannot rid of this. He is totally helpless in this. A knock on the door. A strange man enters the mayor's office wearing a long coat from the head to toe and a scarf with red and yellow stripes. Half of his long coat is yellow and the other half red. He is tall and thin as has charming sharp eyes, hair hanging down his shoulders and a smiling face. A small musical again pipe is tied to the end of the scarf. Everyone in the mayor's office looks at him in amusement. Now, while they were talking, a strange man enters the mayor's office. He knocks on the door and enters the mayor's office. And what he was wearing? He was wearing a long coat which is half red and half yellow, and he had a yellow and red striped scarf on his neck. He was wearing a scarf, and there was a musical pipe tied on the scarf. He was charming, thin, tall. He was having sharp eyes, and his hair was hanging down his shoulders, and he was having a smiling face. And everyone wondered by looking at him. The visitor, honorable gentleman, I know a secret magic. I can make any animal on earth follow me. I use this magical power against animals that harm people. People call me the Pied Piper. Now, what he sees, the visitor sees that he is having a secret magic. What he can do, he can make any animal on earth, follow him. And he was having a magical power on what to make the animals follow him, that are the animals that harm the people follow him. Okay, now what he says, he told that the people call him Pied Piper. The mayor and his men look at each other and shake their heads. They do not believe the strange man. What they did, they looked at each other. The mayor and the four advisors looked at each other and they didn't believe the strange man. Pied Piper, I can help you get rid of your rats, but you must promise me 1,000 guilders. Will you? The mayor and his men are surprised and look very happy. They talk excitedly with each other. Later, what the Pied Piper said, he will help them to get rid of the rats, but he want 1,000 guilders. It's amount of money. Okay, he's asking for 1,000 guilders for to help them to get rid out of the rats. Okay, now the mayor and the advisors were very happy. Mayor, are you sure? Can you help me help free Hamlin from the rats? How wonderful! I promise to give you 1,000 guilders if you help us. Thank you. Now what he did? He promised that he will give 1,000 guilders free if he helped them to free Hamlin from the rats. Scene 3. The Pied Piper enters the stage playing his pipe. There is a loud rumbling sound. Hundreds of rats came out of the houses. The townspeople gather behind him and follow him excitedly. In the third scene, what is there? The Pied Piper is playing his pipe, and a lot of hundreds of rats are coming out of the different houses, and all the people are gathering him and following him very excitedly. And one, what a miracle this is! Look at those rats running behind him. I just cannot believe my eyes. Woman 1, a miracle it is indeed. All those rats in our houses, brown, black, grey, small, thin, fat, huge, old, they follow him as if they have been charmed. What a sight this is. Now they people were not able to believe their eyes because all the rats are running behind them, behind the Pied Piper. Come, come, we shall follow him, see what he does to those rats. And the one man is saying, let us follow him to see what he will do with the rats. Sounds of splashing water. Woman 2. Look, look, he is leading them into the Weser River. They are all falling into the river. What a relief. Woman 3. Oh, yes, finally we are free from those rats. Other townspeople join in, merrily clapping and celebrating their freedom from the rats. And what happened? There he is leading the rats into the Weser River, and all the rats are falling into the river. At last they are free from the rats. And all the other people join them and they are happily celebrating the their freedom from rats. Scene from the mayor's office. The mayor and his 4 advisors are present. Lord Hamlin is free from rats. It is truly an achievement. Advisor 2. Yes, my lord, we must give the Pied Piper 1,000 guilders we promised. The mayor laughs loudly and talks proudly. Now, the advisor number 1 tells that they are finally free from the rats. Wait, Hamlin is finally free from the rats, and it is a great achievement. And the advisor too says that they must pay the Pied Piper 1,000 guilders as they promised. Now the mayor laughs loudly. Mayor, yes, it is my achievement. The people are very happy and they will make me the mayor next year too. What 1,000 guilders are you talking about? I did not promise him anything. Now he's telling that it is his achievement and the people are very happy that he freed he has taken a step to free Hamelin from rats. Now he thinks that the people will make him mayor the next year too, and he acts as he totally forgot about the 1,000 guilders, and he told that he did not promise anything. Advisor 4. But my lord, you had. The mayor raises his hand to stop further talk. The advisors look at each other and stop talking. Enter the Pied Piper. When the advisor 4 came to talk, he stopped him from talking by raising his hand. Pied Piper smiles and bows. Now Pied Piper enters the room. He is smiling and he is bowing with respect. Good morning, Lord. I trust this morning finds you in fine spirits. The town people are filled with joy and are celebrating their freedom from the rats. Now he wishes him good morning, and he tells that the town people are celebrating their freedom from the rats. Mayor, yes, they are indeed. What brings you here? Now the mayor is asking him, yes, they are celebrating, and why he has come there, why Pied Piper has come there. Pied Piper, you had promised me 1,000 guilders if I freed Hamlin from the rats, and so I have come to collect my reward. He is asking for the reward of 1,000 guilders as he promised before, if he frees Hamlin from rats. Mayor laughs loudly. What, 1,000 guilders? I do not remember making any such promise. Take a few spare coins as alms and leave. Now he treats him as a beggar, and he don't remember any such promise. Pied Piper, are you sure, Lord? Please do not break the promise you made, or you shall pay for it. Mayor angrily, what can you do now? Those rats are dead. They cannot come back to life. Laughs loudly. His advisor look at each other. Advisors. Now the Pied Piper is asking him not to break the promise, or else he have to pay for it. Now mayor is telling him angrily that those rats are dead and he cannot bring the rats to life back. Now the Pied Piper smiles and bows down and leaves. Scene 5. Night. Entered the Pied Piper. He plays a different tune. Behind him run the children of Hamlin, laughing and clapping and dancing to the tune. Now it is night time and Pied Piper is there. He's playing a different tune, and in his back there were the children of Hamlin running around, running behind him. They were laughing, clapping, and dancing to the tune that he plays. Narrator. Little children came out of their houses holding their little baby brothers and sisters. Beautiful little children with twinkling eyes, white teeth, and pretty hair ran out into the roads, clapping and laughing. The sound of their laughter mingled with the sound of the sweet music from the pipe, each sweeter than the other. Sadly, in no time, their voices disappeared into the hill to the west of Hamlin. Now, the narrator is explaining the little children of Hamlin has came out of the houses with their little brothers and sisters, baby brothers and sisters in their hands. And those beautiful little children with twinkling eyes, white teeth, and pretty hair, they were clapping and laughing, and there they were behind, running behind the Pied Piper. Okay, now their sound of laughter was mingled with the sound or the sweet music which from the pipe which was played by the Pied Piper. Now both of them was each of them was sweeter than the other. Means the sound of the children and the sound of the or the music from the pipe is sweeter than other. Each of them are sweeter than the other. Now where they disappeared? They disappeared into the hill to the west of Hamlin. Scene 6. Morning. Two groups of parents anxiously calling out to their children all around. Where have all our children gone? They were at home last night. Come, let's go to the mayor. Enter the mayor. Rubbing sleepy eyes. What is all this noise about? What is the problem? Group 1. All children are missing since morning. Now, the next morning, two groups of parents were searching for the children all around the town. And first group is telling where all the children has gone. And the second group is telling they were all home last night and they are going to the mayor. And mayor is asking what is the problem. They say noise, what is the problem? Now the groups one says their children are missing. 2. We have searched the whole of Hamlin and not a sight of them. What is happening, Mayor? Mayor, suddenly widely awake, sits down with his hands on his head. What a mistake I have committed. This must be the Pied Piper's work. I broke my promise to the Pied Piper in spite of his warning. My greed has cost our town its children. The town people start wailing for their children loudly. Narrator. The merry laughter of the little children was never again heard in Hamlin. They were never returned because the mayor broke his promise. Now, the, the group 2 of the parents of group 2 told that they have searched the whole of Hamlin, Hamlin town for their children and they didn't find them. Now the mayor realized that it was all the it was all done by Pied Piper. It was the work of Pied Piper because as he had promised broke his promise to give 1,000 guilders to Pied Piper, he did not pay that. So already he had told that he will have to pay for breaking his promise. It's all because of Mayor, and the town people started crying for them. Now the laughter of the children never came back, was never heard in Hamlin again. They never came back. Okay, that's all about the story. Okay, now take the exercise section, page number 55. Put a tick mark if the sentence is correct or a cross if it is wrong. You have to put a tick mark if the sentence is correct and a cross mark if it is wrong. There are 6 sentences, 5 sentences are given below. First you have to read the chapter very well. Now take the grammar section. A conjunction is a word that joins or links two words, phrases or sentences together. For example, he plays cricket and football. He works quickly but sincerely. You better do your homework or you will fail in the exam. She didn't attend the school because she was ill. He didn't have his lunch, so he felt hungry later on. Okay, here you can see some words that are written in bold letters. Okay, now these are the words that joins two sentences, two words or two phrases, and they are called conjunctions. They are also called linkers. Using the linker and. When we write a list of things, we use a comma to separate each item in the list from the next. We use the word and before the last item in the list. It's, you already know that. When we are writing a list of things, what we will use? We will use a comma in between the words, the things to separate them, and we will use and before the last item in the list. For example, she likes pizzas, burgers, spaghetti, and coke. Here, pizza, comma, burgers. In between, we are using comma, and before the last word, we are using and. And also joins two sentences. It also joins what? And also joins two sentences. It not only joins the words, it also joins two sentences. Example, Joseph finished his homework. He went to park to play football. How will we rewrite that using and? Joseph finished his homework and went to the park to play football. Now using the linker but. When two sentences contain opposite words, we use but to link them. Iron is heavy, cotton is light. Here both are having opposite words, right? So we use but to join them. Iron is heavy but cotton is light. Now using the linker or. The linker word or is used when there is more than one option, often to show a choice or a decision. If you want to choose from one, or when there is more than one option, or there is a when it shows a choice or about a choice or decision, which conjunction we use or. For example, I will take the fruit salad or the carrot soup. You will select either one, right? Fruit salad or carrot soup. So if it comes to show the choice, we use the conjunction or. It is also used to talk about an action and a negative effect as a result. Example, don't commit crime or you will regret it. Using the linker so. We use the linking word so when the first sentence gives the reason for the second sentence. Always remember so always remember to use a comma before so. For example, he got a new job. He was happy and pleased. Now here two sentences are there. In the first sentence, it gives the reason for the second sentence. So which word we use? So he got a new job, so he was happy and pleased. He was happy and pleased. Why? It is the reason. He got a new job. Using the linker because. We use the linking word because when the second sentences gives the reason for the first sentence. If you get if the first sentence gives the reason for the second sentence, we use so, and if the second sentence gives the reason for the first, we use because. Now you have to fill in the blanks by using the correct linkers or the correct conjunctions. Okay. Now combine the following sentences using correct conjunctions. This one also you have to do. There are two sentences given and you have to connect it with correct conjunctions. Next is, sometimes we use certain words and sentences that usually appear next to each other. Such words are called collocations. For example, make plus noise is a collocation because we often use it together. This is a library, so please do not make noise. We say make noise, not do noise or have noise. There are no rules with collocations. You just have to remember them. The easiest way is to memorize example sentences. There are some words in sentences that always or that usually appear next to each other. These words are called collocations. For example, make plus noise. Do not make noise. Like that, some words are usually appear next to each other. These words are called collocations. Choose the correct collocations and complete the sentences. Now you have to choose the correct collocation from the option below. There are some sentences you have to complete it by choosing the correct collocation from the option below each sentence. Okay. Now take page number 61. Read these rules that you should follow in a library. Do not make noise. Handle books carefully. Do not fold the pages of books. Return books on time. Keep the books in the correct place. In your notebook, write down some rules that one should follow while walking on a crowded road. Prepare news reports and other articles describing what happened in the town of Hamlin before and after the Pied Piper came. You could also include interviews with the mayor and the Pied Piper. You can also stick pictures of the mayor and the Pied Piper mice, the little children following the piper in your newspaper reports. Now, here are some rules that you have to follow in a library. And next, what you have to do is you have to write down the rules which you should follow while walking on a crowded road. Next activity is you have to prepare news reports and other articles based on the story we have learned. Okay, this is an activity for you. You have to do it on time. Now take page number 52. The nurse's song. When the voices of children are heard on the green and laughing is heard on the hill, my heart is at rest within my breast, and everything else is still. Then come home, my children, the sun is gone down, and the dews of night arise. Come, come, leave of play, and let us away, till the morning appears in the skies. No, no, let us play, for it is yet day, and we cannot go to sleep. Besides, in the sky the little birds fly, and the hills are all covered with sheep. Well, well, go and play till the light fades away, and then go home to bed. The little ones slept and shouted and laughed, and all the hills echoed. The poem describes about the children playing on the hill, playing outside in the hills, while their nurse listens to them in contentment. Twilight falls, she urges the children to um, leave of the play and to move to their houses or to go to their houses to as it is nice. So there it is the deep sleeping time. So she is asking them to go to their houses, asking her to play on till bedtime as long as the light lasts. He accepted that. They were shouting and laughing and enjoying on the hills. Okay, their children in this poem, the children are playing outside in the hills, outside the hill. Okay, now the nurse is calling them to go to their home. Now they are asking them her if they can play till the light falls. Now when she allows them, they will shout and laugh in joy. Okay, that's all about the poem, and we have completed your textbook. Now what you have to do is you have to complete the exercise section. All of you should complete the exercise section on time, and we will start revision on from the next class onwards. Okay.